I'd like to welcome Brad to the stage now.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing today, Brad?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good. Well, I'm going to hand over. Floor's all yours now, and I'll see you for the Q&A in a little while.
Thank you very much, and thank you to everyone for joining this session. I am just going to share my screen, which I've just practiced, so should be able to do it pretty quickly. And hopefully everyone will see my presentation in a second. Perfect. There we are. So thank you very much for joining this session once again. So as Jonathan's just mentioned, in this session, we're going to be exploring the best donation methods to use for different fundraising campaigns. So we're going to start by exploring why choosing between different donation technology really matters, before carrying on to some different scenarios that charities often find themselves in. And as a part of that, we're going to be hearing from a couple of different charities who will be advising us on kind of what they've done and which donation methods they've used successfully. So first things first, I will start by introducing myself. My name is Brad, and I'm the Fundraising Innovation Manager here at Donor. Prior to working with Donor, I worked in fundraising for two small international development charities, and for the last 18 months, I've been working with Donor and working alongside charities to run some pretty exciting campaigns, some of which you'll be hearing about later in this session. So donation technology is quite a confusing area. There's lots of different technology available, and it can be quite difficult to match the right technology to the right fundraising ask. So I'm going to start by giving 3 different examples of why it's worth taking the time to consider the correct donation technology for each fundraising campaign that you run. So the first example is a tweet that I recently picked up from Ross McCulloch from Third Sector Lab, which blew my mind a little bit. So if Amazon's front page loaded 1 second more slowly, they would lose $1.6 billion in annual sales. Now, Amazon's clearly a juggernaut and processes billions in sales each year. However, here we can see how a tiny, almost unnoticeable difference in customer experience could have such a huge impact on the company's revenues. Secondly, we have a current example from the charity sector. So this is an article from Third Sector, which talks about how people are carrying far less cash than we used to see pre-pandemic. Even if people have cash, they're now leaving it at home as they don't feel the need to walk around with it rattling around in their pockets. And this means that a lot of the classic fundraising techniques, street collections, tins on shop counters, things like that, need to adapt and embrace technology to meet the needs of supporters. But whilst we need to embrace technology, we also need to be considerate about using the right technology in the right place. QR codes, for example, are great pieces of technology, but there are places where they simply don't work, like the example on the screen of on the back of a lorry. Or I recently heard the example of a charity adding a QR code into an email. So if I had received that email on my phone, I would have had to have borrowed a second phone to scan my phone to get through to the webpage that the charity wanted to get me to, which isn't ideal. Sometimes using a link is just easier. So hopefully I've convinced you of the importance of using the correct donation technology in the correct place. So we're now going to look at 3 different scenarios that charities often find themselves in. The first scenario is a charity is looking for a quick and easy way to process small donations. So when deciding on the appropriate technology for small donations, there are some key considerations. Convenience is even more important than usual for small donations. Whilst the supporter may be willing to take a little bit longer over a larger donation, a supporter making a small donation wants to make it as quickly as possible and doesn't want to be held up by having to give loads and loads of information. And as we've heard already, people aren't carrying cash, so it needs to be a cash-free option too. So many charities use text giving on our platform for this purpose. It's a very simple method to make a small donation. A supporter only has to send a text message, which makes it really quick, easy, and really importantly at the minute to truly contact this. We've also recently launched our outbound text message marketing platform, which is called Text Journeys, which enables you to steward further support. So this wouldn't be possible if someone was putting £1 in a collection tin. So it demonstrates how technology allows stewardship opportunities beyond the initial donation. In case anyone's not familiar with how text giving works, I'm going to give a very brief walkthrough of the process. So a supporter texts a keyword, which in this example is gift, to a short code number. The supporter then receives a bounce back text message and the donation is complete. The supporter is sent a message with instructions for how to add gift aid. And finally, there's also an optional text message to convert one-off support into a regular donation. This is completely optional, but has a 3 to 4% conversion rate. So over the course of a year, can boost income from a campaign by 30 to 40%, which is pretty exciting. So now we're going to hear directly from a charity about how they've used text giving to collect small donations. So I'll hand over to Gillian Graham from Edinburgh Dog and Cat Home.
Hi, my name is Gillian Graham. I'm the fundraising manager at Edinburgh Dog and Cat Home. We are a charity which works to rescue, reunite and rehome lost, abandoned and stray dogs and cats across the east of Scotland. So the campaign that I'd like to talk about is our emergency appeal. We launched it in late September 2020, following quite a difficult year. So the emergency appeal was called Help Our Home and was brought about because we were struggling, like many others last year, with the impact of COVID-19. So throughout the year, the team worked quite hard to develop different programs and fundraising initiatives, including some mini text to donate campaigns, some online dog and cat shows, and virtual busks as well, which we used the donor text to donate platform for. But later in the year, following the losses of up to £650,000, we decided that we had to go out with an appeal. So that was how the Help Our Home campaign came about. So the campaign, as I said, was kind of launched late September, so 28th of September last year. It was pulled together in quite a short few weeks with a limited number of staff. So we kept the concept of it very, very simple, the messaging really clear. And to put it bluntly, we were at risk, so we just had to go out with that message to our supporters and our local community and hope that they would rally around and come together to support the work and to secure the future of the home. So we kept the appeal concept really, really concise and clear. The messaging was to help our home, to help save the home and the animals and secure the future for the years ahead. So we contacted our existing supporters and also approached some non-existent supporters through direct mail, a cold door drop, the usual channels, the social media, email. We also got involved with some PR and advertising through Edinburgh Trams, and we did radio advertising as well. So on each of the platforms, we made sure that text to donate was on everything. We wanted to make it as simple for everyone as possible to donate and as easy as we could for them should they wish to donate. So we thought that was really, really important for the campaign. So it was less important to get everyone's details and to the gift aid and everything, obviously, as possible through the text to donate. So we did put text to donate on everything, posters, the donation forms on our website and print as well. We're really, really pleased overall with the campaign. We'd estimated we'd hope to raise about £55,000 through the campaign. So overall, we were delighted that we raised in excess of £175,000 over a short 5-week period. So part of that did include our text to donate. So we raised over £5,000 through text, and that was through one-off donations. But we also were delighted because we used the response, text response to recruit new regular donors as well. And we had over 30 new regular donors just solely from the save code that we used for the platform. As well as the save code that we used, we did see a huge rise in the number of texts to donate overall throughout that period. So during September, end of September to the end of October, we raised over £5,000 just solely across the platform. So it was a huge increase to our usual month, but we're very, very pleased overall. We'll continue to use text to donate and donor through all our appeals and campaigns, our events, and on our website and all channels. Yeah, huge thanks to donor and the team for making it really simple, really, really simple, setting up a campaign in a number of minutes, and thanks so much. Cheers.
So thank you very much, Gillian, for recording that video for us. I meant to mention before introducing the video that Edinburgh Dog and Cat Home used multiple fundraising tools to run that campaign as well. So text to donate was used as the metric for small, simple donations. And then there was other metrics for the larger donations as well. So you can kind of fit multiple donation tools into one campaign as well. So as mentioned, we've recently launched our outbound text message marketing platform, Text Journeys, which enables charities to communicate with supporters who opt in to hear more from them when they donate via text. So this means that a charity can let the supporters know what impact the supporters had, steward further support, or let them know about upcoming events as well. So the next scenario is a charity looking to maximize fundraising from an event, like a ball or a dinner. So considerations here are that the supporter may already have paid for a ticket to the event, so they may already feel like they've done their bit. Perhaps making them feel like they're going to get something in exchange for an additional donation will encourage further support. Also, any supporters may not be carrying cash, or if the event is virtual, having cash isn't particularly helpful. So one of our new fundraising solutions, Text Raffles, allows charities to quickly and easily create a free draw via text message. It's simple to organise, gives supporters an incentive to support your cause, and you can also follow up via Text Journeys, for example, if you're organising the same event next year. Text Raffles works in a very similar way to text giving. To enter, the supporter texts the keyword, in this example, enter, to the short code number. The supporter then receives a bounce back message to give different options for entering the raffle. One of those options is a free entry option, which makes the raffle much easier and more cost effective to organise. And ultimately, this means that more money reaches the charity. And as an added bonus, it also means that gift aid can be claimed as all donations are voluntary, so that boosts income further. So now I'm going to hand over to Matt from Coco to talk through how text raffles have been used to fundraise at virtual events.
Hi guys, my name is Matt. I'm from Coco, the fundraising manager at Coco, an international development charity here in the northeast of England, based in Newcastle. We focus on providing quality education for kids who wouldn't usually get it in East Africa, so Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda. And this year's been a bit of a funny year. We've had to kind of change the way we fundraise a little bit. So the guys at Donor have asked me to jump on here and send you a quick video about what we've been doing using their text to donate service. So a quick bit of background first is basically I got put on furlough along with the rest of the fundraising world back in March when everyone was trying to work out what was going on. I had a couple of weeks off, kind of not sure what to do. Was getting a bit bored, itchy feet. So naturally I put on a fundraising event. What would any fundraiser do on furlough? But obviously couldn't do it for Coco because that's not legal when you're on furlough. So we did it for the NHS Charities Together Fund, kind of like, you know, fight the global fight thing, get behind it, try and help the NHS at this time. And yeah, everyone was kind of wanting to fundraise for that. So we went down that path and it worked really well. My background is in adventure. So before Coco, I went around the world on a scooter with a sidecar. It was like a Guinness World Record breaking trip. I raised money for lots of different charities fighting modern slavery. So I kind of knew a few adventurers and stuff. So I set up this online virtual event called the Armchair Adventure Festival, which is why I'm sat in an armchair now. And just got a few of my mates to come on and talk about their adventures. I knew lots of people who had done crazy trips, or walking around the world, running the Americas, motorcycling here and there, sort of fun, adventure-y things. We did a live streamed YouTube event for a whole weekend, and we just had it free to attend. So we get people to sign up to mailing list, and then we sort of pay what you feel it was worth, kind of thing, onto a fundraising page, which we called the tip jar. So like, say what you think it's worth. And it raised £8 for the NHS. So it was a huge success. So anyway, a bit of time passed, did that, didn't use any text donating or anything for that. And then got back to work for Coco and still doing this armchair stuff part-time, because I'm part-time anyway at Coco, and I'll do a lot of adventure stuff part-time. And I was going to do another Armchair Adventure Festival. This time I could raise for Coco, so I was really pleased about that. And set up the Armchair Adventure Festival to run last weekend in November, which I did a couple of weeks ago. But we knew this one was going to be a lot harder to raise money at, because A, it's not for the coronavirus, which is everyone wants to raise money for right now. But B, there's a lot of virtual fatigue out there. A lot of people have done this and that in the virtual space already and kind of getting a bit fed up with everything virtual. Can we just do something in real life now? Which of course we couldn't. So we put it on, but we thought we've got to get some other ways for people to donate at this event. So reached out to the guys at Donor and said, I want to do a raffle, a text to donate raffle. So we got a cool prize, luxury stay in these shepherd's huts in Northumberland. And basically just set it up with the guys at Donor so that someone could text a certain number with a certain word. It would automatically donate £5 to Coco, and then they would automatically get a text back that said, cancel if you don't want to send the donation but do want to enter the competition. So it basically gives people a way to enter for free, so you get past that whole gambling commission stuff where you can't do the text to donate thing, where you can't do virtual online raffles, and got past that sort of barrier and managed to do a virtual raffle. And it was really, really easy to do. And it was really nice because, you know, like physical events, we have lots of different ways people can donate. Maybe you're at a ball, you've got this game, that game, loads of different ways people can get involved. With a virtual event, it can be quite hard to pull in different ways of donating because obviously it's all on the same very sort of two-dimensional platform. So, yeah, it was really nice that we could kind of ask people to donate to the tip jar, but then also sort of jump off their screens, if you like, and then get another device out and donate that way too. So we had a lot of people who would donate on the tip jar and then also enter it in the raffle. So it's a good way of getting more money out of the people, or getting more donations out of the people who were at the event. So overall, doing the text to donate thing saw us sort of spike about 10-15% in total donations for that event because of the text to donate thing. So that's quite a lot of money, and obviously really scalable. The more audience you get, the more you'll raise. And it was really easy. I just pitched it throughout the weekend. Sort of, I was playing host, so in between sessions, I'd say donate to this number, and there you go. So it worked really well, and I definitely recommend anyone to give the text to donate stuff a go. It's really COVID safe as well, so it's really good at the moment. We also had a physical event called the Overland event that we were the charity partner of for the year. We usually do a raffle at that event. There's usually a raffle at that event. But again, they couldn't do the raffle this year because it was deemed unsafe COVID-wise to be writing out on tickets, giving people the tickets. They were trying to limit any form of contact between participants of this event because they managed to have a physical event take place. So they said, you can have the Charity of the Year partnership, guys. You can't have buckets. You can't run a raffle. And I was like, God, how can I raise any money at this event then? So we put on a completely COVID-proof charity raffle at the event using Donors Text to Donate thing. So all I did, went to the event, stuck up a load of posters everywhere, got on stage, read out the number and all that kind of stuff. And we raised, I think, probably like £500 or £600. Which was a big win for us because it was a much smaller event than it usually would be. It had the capacity to make no money at all, but because we could kind of run this COVID-free raffle, COVID-safe raffle, then we could still raise some money. So yeah, I'd recommend it. I think it's a brilliant tool. You can bring it into your virtual events, you can bring it into your physical events, and it's just another way to raise a bit more money as you go. So give it a go. Any questions or anything, feel free to send them through. matt@coco.org.uk. Happy to chat about what we've been using it for, and if we can give any advice, certainly will. So cheers, guys. Thank you.
So thank you very much to Matt for recording that video. The final scenario that I'll very quickly run through, because I'm slightly over time, is a charity looking to process larger donations. So when it comes to larger donations, supporters still care about convenience, but maybe more willing to go through a slightly longer process and are prepared to give a bit more information about themselves. The supporter may also be a bit more conscious of security when making large donations, so that's something to keep in mind. For large donations, online donation pages offer a good balance between convenience and collecting the necessary information from supporters to allow you to communicate with them. Donor will shortly be launching giving pages, which will allow charities to quickly and easily create branded donation pages. Giving pages will use the same technology that we have developed to power Children Needs online donations and the John Lewis and Waitrose Give a Little Love campaign. Now, we're shortly going to be heading into the Q&A, but I wanted to preempt a question that I always get asked, so I thought I'd get it out of the way. At Donor, we're really proud to have no sign-up fees, no monthly fees, and no dormancy fees, so there's no commitment. Our pricing model is we charge 5% per donation across all of our solutions. Our card processor also charges a fee of 1.4% plus 20p on any card donations. That's cards only, not text. And Text Journeys, which is our outbound SMS marketing platform, works on a credit-based system, and each credit is 4p. And very finally, if you're interested in taking a look at our new guide to digital fundraising, then please drop us an email at hello@donor.com or drop us a message on social media, and we will share your free copy. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention, and we will now jump into the Q&A.
Thanks very much, Brad. Fascinating presentation there. Great to hear about some of these different technologies being matched to different scenarios, and to hear directly from some of the charities who've actually implemented them. We've got quite a few questions, so I'm going to crack straight into them. From Joe, we often get internal comments such as, but people don't have credit anymore, they have contracts. Seems simple, but how would you address these questions?
So people having contracts is actually better from a text giving perspective. Most people are on a contract. How it works is the mobile phone network will add it on to the individual's next phone bill. So as long as people don't have blocks or limits on their accounts, it will be added on to their phone bill. If they are still on pay-as-you-go, then it will come off their mobile phone credit. But most people now are on a contract system.
Right, okay, brilliant. And for text raffles, can you set a limit to purchase tickets? So this, I've learned something here actually. In Northern Ireland, currently you can only sell raffle tickets for £1 cap. They're hoping that will change with the new gambling bill, but currently, is there a limit you can set?
Yes, so you can choose the price point, and you can set a limit on the number of tickets that can be purchased from each mobile phone number. We have some sample terms and conditions that you might choose to use, and this enforces the limit, which we'd recommend doing. In terms of legislation, text raffles is set up as a free draw, whereas raffles raffles where it's a compulsory donation are technically society lotteries. Society lotteries require quite a lot of admin. You have to submit paperwork either to the local authority or the Gambling Commission, depending on how big it is. And even if it's a small raffle run through the local authority, any provider that you use would have to be registered with the Gambling Commission, which means that it's quite expensive because those providers have to pass on the cost of getting that license from the Gambling Commission. So that's why we've chosen to run it as a free draw, which means that there's a free donation option. So technically the raffle is free to enter with a voluntary donation. So that means that it's a lot less rigid from a kind of gambling regulations perspective, because people are entering the draw for free. So they're not exceeding that limit. They're making a separate donation. And that's why you can claim gift aid as well.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for clarifying that. Question from Sarah. Is a QR code time limited? For example, could we use one on printed literature or merch and it continue to be used for, say, 2 years?
I would check which provider you're using for your QR codes. So we don't actually provide QR codes yet. It is on our to-do list, but as I'm sure everyone can imagine, our to-do list is quite long, and we haven't decided exactly when that's going to happen, but hopefully at some point early next year. If you are getting a QR code from another provider, then it's just worth reading all the small print before you put it on any printed literature and merchandise. So some of them you do get permanently, but there's other providers where they'll give you a free QR code for 30 days to give you enough time to print it onto things. And then you'll get a nasty surprise 30 days in when you get charged a load more to keep using that QR code. So just keep an eye out for things like that.
Okay, and Kevin, just following up on the Cocoa presentation, is saying a tip jar was mentioned. What was the platform they were using for the live stream with a tip jar?
I'm not sure, actually. So Matt is a really friendly and nice guy. So if you want to drop him a line, he would be delighted to tell you. I don't know if you, from a charity digital perspective, have you had a tip jar on any of your virtual events before?
Not within an event. I mean, I guess it's kind of a matter of just linking through to one of the donation platforms in a way. which could be a link from within the live event, couldn't it? So we could kind of post one up here, for example, within the text, and that could link directly through and be positioned as the tip jar.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very specific question in terms of if somebody wanted to go over and start using Donor, how much support is there from you in terms of getting that service up and running?
Hopefully a good amount of support. We are quite pleased that we have a good reputation for offering charities a good level of support to get their campaigns up and running successfully. We have recently just launched our new dashboard and a new website that has a knowledge base on it. So that's kind of our next step forward to offer even more support. So we're always kind of amenable to getting back to messages. Like we will be in touch if you have any questions to ask us. But we're trying to get as much information as possible into the knowledge base on our website so that you can also access information kind of in evenings, on weekends, and you aren't delayed waiting for us to answer you. But if at any point you do have any questions or any concerns, then you can drop us a line, and we'd like to think that we're very good at getting back to people, and most charities seem to agree with that. So hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, brilliant. Final question from me, actually. I'm just wondering how demographics comes into picking different donation technologies. So have you found that certain demographics prefer to donate in certain ways, and that therefore if you were running a campaign that was targeted on one of those demographics, that would drive you down a certain channel?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of another layer on top of what I've just been mentioning. So yeah, the demographics of and your target audience really play a part. So we tend to see that, like as a general rule, younger people embrace technology sooner, and then it starts to move its way up the age groups. So text giving has been around for quite a while now. So we're starting to see that kind of creep up the age demographics, and across all age demographics, people are fairly comfortable. More at the younger end, but people who are older tend to be quite comfortable. I think it's the same for all technology, that younger generations tend to embrace it first. But QR codes, for example, we've seen during the pandemic, they've been so widely used for a variety of purposes that now lots of people are very comfortable using QR codes, and it's built into phone cameras now. So it's dead straightforward to use. So it's something to be mindful of and something to be considerate of. And perhaps if you're using technology for the first time and you're unsure whether it's the right technology for your target audience, have a couple of different options. So a lot of the campaigns we see, there'll be a online donation option and a text giving option. And for certain audiences, text giving gives them like bam, quick and easy way to make a small donation. But others would rather sit and go through an online form and feel more comfortable with that. And giving support as that choice is means it's a win-win situation.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Brad. That's been great to get your insights really on how the different technologies can be used for different campaigns.